For last 20 to 25 days, MSRTC employees are on a strike, and because of that, common people in Maharashtra are struggling. At least those who don't have a private vehicle. I have an opinion here. The strike by MSRTC employees is a legitimate one, but for a wrong outcome. Why is that? We need to understand that the government control and the political interference is the root cause of the major problems of MSRTC, and the merger with the government is not going to solve the issues. Yes, the merger will help the employees, but it is not going to improve these conditions and the service of MSRTC. Then the big question is, what is the ideal solution for the problem? That is what we will try to find out in this video. So starting with the MSRTC, for the people who don't know, it stands for Maharashtra State Road Transport Corporation. It is the state transport corporation which provides passenger transport services in Maharashtra. MSRTC is India's third biggest state transport corporation with more than 17,000 buses and 95,000 employees. What happened is that MSRTC employees are on a strike since 20th October, which has caused a great deal of discomfort for the many people in the Maharashtra as they depend on these ST buses for their travel. ST employees have four major demands. They want their DA, housing allowance, and salaries to be increased. And the final demand is the merger of MSRTC with the state government. On 20th October, the union leaders met Anil Parab, who is the transport minister and the chairman of MSRTC. In the meeting, three demands were accepted except for the merger issue. After the meeting, unions called off the strike, but few employees did not return to work. After that, MSRTC went to the Bombay High Court against the striking employees. The court has directed the government to form a three-member panel to study the merger issue and create a report within 3 months. The court has also ordered the employees to resume their duties. But after 7th October, the protest and the strike has intensified, leading to complete halting of bus services in Maharashtra. In reaction to this, MSRTC has suspended more than 1,500 employees, and the Bombay High Court has directed MSRTC to initiate contempt petition. The employees and the unions are clear in their demands. They have announced that strike will continue until the merger is done. Now, as I said in the beginning, the strike by the employees is a legitimate one. They are fighting for their rights because the salaries are not enough. They don't get enough compensation for the work they do, and their strike and demands are legitimate to a certain extent. But the outcome they are seeking is not a right outcome. Why is that? Why I'm saying that? The thing we need to understand is that the root cause of the problem with the MSRTC is the control of the political parties over that corporation, government control. The chairman of MSRTC is the transport minister of Maharashtra. This is kind of a ridiculous thing because MSRTC is a big organization. It has more than 95,000 employees, 17,000 buses. It provides transport services to lakhs and lakhs of people in Maharashtra daily. There needs to be a independent person to control and chair the MSRTC. This is the basic thing one needs to understand, and that is why I say that the root cause of the problem of MSRTC is the government control of MSRTC. What here the MSRTC employees are seeking is the merger of the corporation with the government. What will be the result of that? The result of that will be that MSRTC employees will get the government employee status. As a result, they will also get good salaries and the other compensations of what the government employees get. But the root cause, the government control, will be more intensified, and the conditions of MSRTC will depreciate more. Right now, MSRTC generates a revenue of 7 to 9,000 crore rupees every year, and the problem is that even though it is earning such a big revenue, it is not able to sustain its operations and is not able to make profit. It is a loss making corporation, and in last 2 years it has gone from worse to hell. Because of the pandemic, the transport services were closed, and the corporation had to pay the salaries of these employees, maintenance, and other issues. So prior to the pandemic, the MSRTC was in a debt of close to 3,000 crore rupees. Now it has went to 12,000 crore rupees debt. MSRTC has a debt of 12,000 crore rupees. That is something ridiculous. Now, if the merger takes place, the financial problems will be resolved. The money will not fall from the sky, but the government will be paying the money. And as a result, the common public will be taxed more and the money will be paid from the taxes. Now, if the merger happens, the MSRTC employees' salary will be increased. Sometimes some claims are that it will be doubled, and you have to imagine the revenue is the same, 7,000 to 9,000 crore rupees. If the salaries increase, it will be any additional stress on the MSRTC to pay these employees. Now, where will the money come from? I don't know. Maybe it will come from the government's coffers. But government also does not run in profit. Government is in the deficit. Where will the money come from? In the form of loans. And in the form of loans, how the government pays the loans? It collects the tax from the people, and that is how the government pays the loans. So it is a very vicious cycle, and that is also a reason the government is hesitant to merge MSRTC with the government. In my opinion, MSRTC is a very great asset if managed properly. If a proper plan is done, MSRTC has a very huge scope and potential to provide great services and to run in profit. But it cannot happen because it is controlled and run by the government, state government, which, as we all know, if anything is run by government, it will be corrupt. And that is the case with MSRTC. I can only imagine what kind of corruptions takes place in the MSRTC. At some places you get good decent buses, at some places they are completely garbage buses and garbage services. So there are few basic problems for MSRTC. The services, the buses they run are inefficient. The operations of MSRTC are inefficient. The frequency of buses, the allocation of capacity to the specific regions is very inefficient. That needs to be first rectified before expecting any good from MSRTC. And that can only be done if only the government removes its hands from the MSRTC. And that is very rare because controlling MSRTC gives power to the state government, as it has a great number of employees, 95,000 employees. And if government tries to privatize MSRTC, obviously there will be a huge hue and cry from the MSRTC employees as well as the unions, because privatization is something that is not greatly welcomed. But the hard and the bitter pill is that the privatization is the answer to this problem. Without privatization, MSRTC will not improve, its services will not improve, it will continue to be a loss making corporation, and the services will go down. It is a vicious cycle and endless problem. This can only be solved when a government with a strong political will come into the power. Right now, the coalition government in the Maharashtra does not have the capability, neither the intent to resolve this problem from the root. So the strikes will continue. Most probably, the government will have to accept the merger demands, and then the services will continue. It will be good for the MSRTC employees, but in the long term, it will not be good for MSRTC. And God forbid, we don't have to see the day when it is so in so bad condition that it cannot even be revived or privatized. Now is the time. We have the right time, we have the right reasons and right resources to privatize the MSRTC, and it should be privatized. If you are a Maharashtrian and if you have traveled by bus, you know that you have observed that there is a great potential for MSRTC with the sale of the food items on their bus depots, various services, Wi-Fi services in their buses, additional services can be added, efficiencies can be improved, and that is how MSRTC can be revived, and a good pay can be given to these employees. Currently, they are not paid enough. and that is the root cause, that is the problem for the employees, and that can be resolved if the MSRT services are made more efficient and run in a corporate fashion in a private business. In conclusion, the right solution for MSRTC is privatization, but to implement that solution, a strong state government is required. Till then, the problem will continue, the services will be bad, the public will suffer, and the government will be in more debt. That's it for today. If you find this video interesting, consider subscribing my channel and stay updated.